Hey guys, welcome back to the lineup show. I did not realize until last night that we had a Black Friday game today. I don't know why, because I'm pretty sure we've had one the last few years, and it's football on Friday, so it's exciting anyways. But we have the Chicago Bears at the Philadelphia Eagles, and it should be a good game today. I hope you guys had a good Thanksgiving. I know I did. My DFS lineups didn't really go the way I had planned, to be honest with you. And actually last night, I'll just say right now, I apologize to you guys. I told you I thought that Tyler Loop would have the better field goal kicking game. And inside in my head, I think I kind of knew that was wrong before going into it. Not that I lied to you guys. I just kept looking at that matchup and thinking, wow, this is a phenomenal matchup. This guy's going to have a good game. But in the back of my mind, I was thinking the Bengals are going to be the team that needs to kick the field goals because they're going to be the underdogs in this game and the away team, and they're probably not going to get to the end zone as much. So in my mind, I was kind of thinking that, and but I just kept looking at that matchup, and I went with the matchup anyways and said I thought Tyler Loop, but hopefully you guys knew better than I did, or at least had the same thoughts I was thinking, and played McPherson. With that said, I do think Baltimore should have played better, but the Bengals they had pretty good defense. I don't want to say for once, but this year their defenses look rough, and it actually looked pretty good last night. Whether that was because the Ravens just didn't look good or because the Bengals did play really good, I'm not really sure. But I did kind of have the thought with Joe Burrow back and everything, I thought, man, I wonder if the Bengals come out and dominate in this game. It's a divisional game. But for whatever reason, I did not play any lineups with Joe Burrow. I just thought the matchup was too good for the Ravens players, and I was wrong. I did come in a winning bracket on one of my lineups yesterday, but I'll just be honest with you. I played like 6 lineups in different contests, and only one of them came in a winning bracket. So I hope that doesn't make me lose any subscribers or anything, but I had to be honest with you guys. I will say the last 2 days before yesterday, I did some basketball contests, and I used to think basketball was like the hardest of DFS. And the last 2 nights, guys, I have won in the NBA contests, and it was fun doing so. I'll tell you that much. I actually did really good. But anyways, with that said, unless you're at the top of these contests, and I was pretty stinking close, you're still not making, big time money, but I did very well. I'll put it that way. With that said, this whole video was for Black Friday, so I will now go over the Black Friday slate for you guys. Gonna try to make this quick, especially since I've already used a bunch of your time here, but you have Jalen Hurts, who I expect to be the highest scoring player in this game. The Bears are 26th against the quarterback, 21st against the pass, 28th against the run. I guess I'm trying to correct myself and say this the way it's actually put on here. The Bears are 21st in pass yards allowed. So they allow 224.7 on average a game. And that's enough for Jalen Hurts to be able to put up some points on him. I'll tell you that much. And as far as the rush yards allowed, it's 138.1. They're 28th in that area. So that would tell me that Saquon Barkley is going to ball out here. The Bears are 19th against the running back, but they're 28th in rush yards allowed. I just don't know Saquon Barkley is a dominant running back. He can be. He's a very good running back, but they just don't need him to run as much. And because of that, I haven't seen as much huge games as I would like to from him. I mean, you see like Jonathan Taylor, Jahmyr Gibbs getting these 50-plus point games, which I'm not even asking that from Saquon Barkley, but if you could get a few games over 20 points, that would be good. He's only had one game this year over 20 points, which he actually put up 36.4, which is great. But I on paper, he has a tremendous matchup, and I would say you should make him a captain or something. But I am probably not going to make him my captain because he's only averaged 15.2 fantasy points a game. And I just don't think they need to rush him as much. I don't know what else to say. I probably will play him because the matchup is so good. But I don't think they necessarily need to run him that much. Anyways, I like Jalen Hurts better at quarterback. I like Caleb Williams here as well. Philadelphia 16th against the quarterback, 22nd in pass yards allowed per game. Yeah, I think he'd be a good play. Not sure I would play him at captain, except for he's cheaper than Jalen Hurts. I like AJ Brown here. I like him a lot. I'm not sure about playing him because of salary reasons. There's so many good matchups in this game that I'm just not sure how we're going to make it work salary-wise. But the Bears are 21st against the wide receiver. And like we said, they're 21st in pass yards allowed per game. So, I think that I almost like him more than Saquon Barkley in this game because he's been wanting the ball, and I think they've been kind of answering his request to get the ball more. Seems like he's had a lot of targets the last two games. I will say, going back to Saquon Barkley, he did have 26 rush attempts in Week 11 and 22 in Week 10. And in the game, he had 26 rush attempts. He only had 10 fantasy points. That's really bad. I mean, it was against Detroit. In the game, he had 22. He only had 13.1. So it could be just a production thing from him. I hate to think that, but man, it seems like he's underperforming to me. But he is Saquon Barkley. I still am pretty confident in him. I'm not really sure what to think of that. Odunze, again, has a great matchup. Philadelphia is 18th against the wide receiver, 22nd in pass yards allowed per game. So I think he would be a great option. You already saw the matchup for Devontae Smith, but I think he would be a good option. And up till about 2 weeks ago, I would have preferred him over A.J. Brown. So I could easily see playing him in this game versus A.J. Brown because of salary reasons, or maybe even both of them. I'm not sure that I will for salary reasons. I'll be honest with you. I find myself again in this game playing a really cheap guy at captain so I can fit as many studs in as I can because there's just so many of them that I don't want to not have. But I'm not sure how that's going to work out in the end. If one guy really pops off and you don't have him, then that's not fun. So DJ Moore had a good game last week, 23.4 fantasy points. Other than that, he had a big game in week 9, 23 there as well. That's the only two that he's really had that were pretty significant. So I think I like Odunze better still, but I don't know that I'm going to go with either of them. We'll see at the end of this how I put the lineup together, but I don't love DeAndre Swift in this spot, but I don't hate it either. And I think he might be worth a play just for the salary reason alone. So Philadelphia is 18th against the running back and 18th in rush yards allowed per game. So I think he could be a good option. Manungai maybe if you need a cheaper option. I could see throwing him in there. I just don't see him with Swift in the game. I don't see him having a huge game. But Dallas Goedert, I really thought about playing him, but just looking at the last 3 games he's had, he hasn't had too many significant games. So I do like his matchup. The Bears are 24th against the tight end, but I don't think I'm going to play him. Don't really like Jake Elliott in this one. Chicago is 7th against the kicker. And with it being a home game, I don't want to make the same mistake I did last night. I think that Santos could have a big game here. He had 16 fantasy points in week 11. Philadelphia is 26th against the kicker, so I think I'm going to play him. And honestly, the way my lineup was looking earlier, I actually had him as my captain. So I really hope that could work out if I end up going that route. Don't really like either defense in this game, so I'm not even going to look at them. Maybe you could play a Burden. Luther Burden the third. I don't love it, but I don't hate it either. Dotson doesn't really look that intriguing to me. But if you need someone cheap, him and Zacchaeus would be the way to go. But Zacchaeus hasn't had a target in the last 2 games. According to this, that doesn't really make sense because this said he had a reception, but he had no targets. So that he must have had a target in the last game. I'm not sure. I've noticed that a few times on Draftkings where it says players didn't have targets, but they have receptions. So I'm not sure what's going on there, but some glitches or typos, whatever, some malfunctions on that end. But Calcaterra, or Calcaterra, however you say his name, I'm not really interested there. But if you need someone really cheap, I guess you could go that route. Same thing with Shipley. No desire to play him, but I just don't think they're going to use him much. Yeah, Brown wasn't used since week 9. A.J. Dillon doesn't really get a whole lot of usage either. He did have 2 targets. Well, that was week 6. So, yeah, I don't recommend going that route either. So, I'm going to throw a lineup together for you guys. I'm going to end this video. I did have Jalen Hurts as my captain. That is not going to work because if I play him and all the other players I want to, there's going to be no salary left to play. And you would really be punting on 2 players, which might be the route to go this week, to punt on 2 players. But for the sake of me knowing that I've already done this in my lineup, I'm going to play Santos at captain. I'm going to play Jalen Hurts. I'm going to play Caleb Williams, Saquon Barkley. And then it comes down to which receiver do you like. Actually, for salary reasons, I'm going to play Swift here instead. And just leave the receivers out there. This seems crazy to not even have a receiver in this game. Especially since I like Jalen Hurts so much. But then that would leave me with enough to play like Zacchaeus or Dotson, and I think I would go Zacchaeus. He's averaged more, but the last 2 games, I'll tell you what, he hasn't done much the last 2 games, whereas Dotson at least had a target last week. In week 11, he had 2 targets, 2 receptions. Let's just play Dotson there for fun. And that would leave you with 0 salary. Both running backs, both quarterbacks, a kicker, and a cheap wide receiver. I think that I actually like this lineup, but man, it really stinks to not have any of those receivers in there. So if we go back, play Jalen Hurts, play Caleb Williams. I think you would almost have to replace Brown for Barkley or Smith for Barkley or something. Or play a Chicago receiver, but let's just say you play A.J. Brown here. Honestly, I did want to get Saquon Barkley in. That only leaves 800. So you would be punting on the last two. You could swap out Brown for Devontae Smith. That would still only leave you 1,300. You could play a Komet. No, you couldn't. Well, 1,300 per player. If you played Komet, that would leave you with 200. Which I don't recommend playing Komet anyways. Philadelphia is second against the tight end, so I don't really like that. Guys, it just doesn't leave anybody but kind of prayer options, I guess you could call it. I literally, you'd be throwing up a prayer as to who you could play, but I really don't know who else I would play at captain, unless you went like, you could do a Swift at captain, play Hurts, Williams, Barkley. That wouldn't leave you enough for Brown, or Smith, or DJ Moore. That would leave you with a Goddard, or Santos, and maybe like a Bigsby or Shipley or Calcaterra. Still doesn't leave you a whole lot unless you don't play Barkley. If you switch Barkley for Brown, and then that will leave you like Dotson or Zacchaeus. I don't hate that lineup either, and just hope that DeAndre Swift has a really good game. Ultimately, I like Jalen Hurts at captain. I'm just not sure who to fade in order to not be punting away on so many players. But there you have it, guys. Those are kind of some lineup ideas for you. I think, honestly, I'm going to go closer to the first route where I had Santos as captain and hope that he has a game like McPherson did last night. And, yeah. So, hey, I wish you the best again today. Good Black Friday for you. Hopefully you get some deals or something. I'm not going to do a whole lot of shopping, but I hope you guys enjoy your football game today. So it's kind of early. It's not like a late game. It's not a night game, but it's not an early game either. So it's kind of a fun time. But I'm actually doing a Thanksgiving side of my wife's side of the family today. So it's kind of like Thanksgiving all over again for me still. So it's nice to have football today too. But hey guys, I appreciate you watching. Feel free to subscribe. I know yesterday we made it up to 41 subscribers, and somehow we went backwards again and went back to 40. So I'm not sure if someone got mad or something that I said Tyler Loop instead of McPherson. I'm just playing around. I hope that's not the case, but I kind of doubt it. I think maybe someone accidentally hit subscribe or something. I don't know. Kind of the nature of the game in this YouTube thing. Sometimes you get subscribers and you can lose them too. But hey, we'll get there eventually where I can do some live stuff for you guys. And yeah, I really do appreciate you though. And have a good one.